Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. In this video, I want to show you my 6 secrets to really get the best possible sunset in camera and then retouch it the best possible. Now, if you stay until the end, I have a bonus video where I'm going to show you how you can take a sunset that's not incredible and just make it nicer, but in a realistic way. So stay until the end. Also, last week I did a video about faking long exposures in Photoshop instead of using an ND filter, and I made a challenge. I have a winner. The winner will be announced at the end of the video, and he's going to win one of my color books signed, and I'm going to promote him to 100,000 people through all my social media. So if you're interested, I'm making a new challenge. Stay until the end. Are you ready for my 6 secrets to get awesome sunset? I mean, while we were stuck at home, let's retouch some photos. So this is a photo I shot in Paris a while ago. I just want to show you because I get a lot of comment about my sunset, and there's really a few things that I find that works good for me. So let's look at the settings of this photo. This is the Pont Neuf, taken from the Pont des Arts in Paris, absolutely beautiful city. And I shot this, you see here, I shot this at 100 ISO, 1/25 of a second at 5.56. So I was not on a tripod on this one, and there was a lot of light. Sometimes when you have a sunset, there was a lot of light, but you see how it is underexposed. And if you stay until the end, you will see how this one comes out. The next one I'm going to show you is this photo of the Louvre. Look how underexposed, and this one is a little too much underexposed. Usually my rule for underexposing, because it's like this one is f8, 3/20 of a second, ISO 100. It really depends, of the light that you have. But I want to make sure, you see, I always expose for the highlights. I want to make sure I don't blow any highlights here, because I know when I open my shadow, I'm going to get a lot of things back. This one is a little too much, but you will see it's still going to work. This one, basically the rule that I use is I look at my photo. I don't look at the settings. I don't look at the histogram. I look at my photo. It's going to look a bit dark, and I got to be able to see details in the shadows. That's my rule. This is a perfect example. I gotta see details. This one, the details not so much. This is how it look, I look in my viewfinder, and this one is a little too much also, but it come out all right. But I want to preserve the sky. By underexposing the sky, the beauty of the sky, and this is, these are all great moments of sunset. The beauty of the sky is going to be there fully, but wait till the end, you see the final result. The next one I'm going to show you is this crazy panorama that I shot from Le Printemps. It's a department store in Paris. And I didn't have clouds, but I had the Eiffel Tower, and I had this incredible gradient. And I'll show you how I do this one. But I just want to show you the raw files first, okay? They're all very underexposed. This one is kind of ideally exposed to me because I can see the entire gradient in the sky. It's not white, and I can see here it's dark, okay? Now, every brand really handles well opening up the shadows in low light, except Canon. So if you're a Canon shooter, I would expose this a little more. I would get more details in the shadows. I'm just saying. But most brands now can really do well with shadows. Okay, so that was tip number 1. Tip number 2, try to shoot at 100 ISO, because when you're shooting solo, if you can see, all my photos were at 100 ISO, except this one is 100 ISO. This one is 125, but that's a mistake. Should have been 100 ISO. Well, actually, it's not really a mistake. Here's what happened on this one. It was getting really dark, and I wanted to make sure the photo was sharp. So I always go around 140, 160 of a second. I'll talk more on that later. But anyway, so that's why I bumped it up to 125. I just really want to make sure it's sharp. And this one I shot at 500 ISO. Now, I had no choice on this one because there was tripods were not allowed. And you will see it comes out right. But if you cannot put a tripod on like in a department store, that's my tip number 3, is you got to make sure your speed is at least 1/40th of a second. On this one, it was 1/40th second, and on this one, it was 1/60th of a second. And what I do is I put on the self timer so that when I press, it waits 1 or 2 seconds and it takes the shot, okay? And 1/40th of a second is going to get you a sharp photo. Of course, I go into the viewfinder and I look at 100%, making sure it's sharp. I try to not go over 500 ISO, but you're better off getting the shot, at 500 ISO at 1/40th of a second than not getting the shot. So this lens I'm using the maximum it can open is f.0. 4.0, sorry. So I opened at 4.0, I went to 1/40th of a second, and I took a shot. It was way too dark. Okay, so I bumped up the ISO until I could see the sky and could see detail. So that was that was the end result. Same thing on this one. This one, the reason I went to 125 ISO is that I wanted a fast speed to freeze the water a little bit, and I couldn't open more than 4.0. So the rule is be at on 100 ISO on the tripod if you can, and if you cannot, be at 1/40th of a second, and then do whatever ISO is needed. But you know, a sunset is a sunset. This is like a really late sunset, but you will see how amazing it looks if you stay until the end. Okay, so of course you want to shoot when there is clouds. Clouds really makes, and that's my tip number 4, is either shoot when there is really some nice clouds like this ones, or when there's a beautiful gradient. Sometimes when the light is very clear, you're gonna get a beautiful gradient like this photo here, okay? I mean, sometime, this is a little bonus video, I'll keep you at the end. I'll show you how to bring back a sunset that's gone. This is one of my most favorite photo ever. It's the Mont Saint-Michel that I shot, and the man is walking here is Scott Kelby. Shot this many years ago. It's a crazy panorama, and I'm gonna show you how you can bring it back to life. That's all I have for shooting. Now, when it comes to post-processing, the most important about sunset is getting a really cool white balance. Now, just below this video, I have a pack of free presets that you can download. You just put in your email. You're going to get them by email in 4 to 5 minutes. Just make sure it doesn't go to your spam. A lot of people last week had the thing going to their spam. Make sure it's not in your spam. You will get the opportunity to get all my 280 presets. And if you do, I thank you so much. It helped me support this channel. And also, you're going to get the best preset that was ever made on planet Earth. I am not kidding. But anyways, so I'm going to import the preset. I have downloaded the preset. They're on my desktop. And I'm using a very, the latest version of Lightroom. So all you have to do is take the zip file and you're done. And the preset is here. It's called Photo Search Free Preset. And we're only going to be using one preset for this entire video called, wait for it, sunset. So check this out. When I click on sunset, I press I. This is just a starting point, okay? It's a little too dark for me. So the first thing you should do once you apply the preset is hold on the Option key on your keyboard, wait for it, you click here, and you're gonna determine how much black you want. Now on a sunset, I would go like something like this. You want about 1 to 2% of pure black. What you see here in yellow and orange is pure black. There's no more information. So white, you move the slider to the right until you start seeing some dots, okay? And then once you see some dots, you go back and then you lift your finger off the Alt and then you just eyeball it to what you like. So something like this. But you see that preset applied 27 different sliders to one photo in one click. It's gonna really help you get the right white balance. The next thing you need to do when you use this preset, you can adjust the exposure and the contrast. So maybe I make it a bit brighter. Maybe I'm gonna add some contrast. And then I'm gonna take this slider here, which is because the preset has a gradient on top and at the bottom. And you can just move it around how you like it. On this one, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger and make it move it up a little bit, something like this. You can even, it has some minus exposure. It adds back some blue because I like my sunset to go from sort of cold to warm. So I'm adding a little bit of blue. You can tweak that if you want. The preset is just a suggestion for you, but I've had over 1,000 emails, people telling me that this preset they use every day and it really helps them. So I thought I would share them for free to you. And I wanted to show you on many different things, cityscape, landscape, all over the world. So, okay, this is kind of cool. The next thing you need to know about that preset is here, the circle. There is a circle in this, which is hidden, you can see here. And that circle is supposed to be where the sun is. Now, check it out. Without the circle, how it looks. With the circle. Huge difference. Now, what I usually do is I put the circle, but you see this, the color is all over the buildings. It's on purpose that it's a little strong. So what you do is you go to range mask and you go to luminance. And if you don't have that setting, you're just better off. I mean, what you can do, if you don't have this setting, if you have like an older version of Lightroom, you can just lower the value here and here. You can just make it lower. But I don't have that problem because I'm using the latest version. So I go to luminance mask and I just go to the right here. And what that's going to do is going to make that circle go behind the buildings. Check it out. Circle is in front, behind. In front, you see everything is light, behind. In front, behind. You got the concept. And voila. I mean, let me show you the before. So that's the before. And that's the final result. Paris, la nuit, magnifique, c'est superbe. I love it. Oh, I forgot a little, some people's gonna complain. I forgot some of that. Yeah, I guess you guys are like me, you're like quarantining at home. I'm retouching all my photos, going back to old photos. You should use my preset on your old photos if you're quarantined. You'll love it. Okay, so next one is the Louvre. Now this one was way underexposed, but hey, let's see if it works. So let's use the sunset preset. Okay, you see it's too dark. So it's the same workflow. And again, it's a starting point. You can do whatever you want on top of it. But this is gonna give you a good base. So you hold on the Option key. This one is way too dark. So I'm gonna back down like this. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the white. I'm gonna go a little faster. Okay, you see, look at this. Even though I underexposed this photo, I'm losing information in the sky. And this is a Sony a7R III. It's a pretty powerful camera. I'm gonna make it a bit brighter. But you see, it still comes out pretty well. And then I'm going to use this gradient here. And then this was the same sunset. The bridge that you see here is about, I would say, 200 meters away. So I took the shot and I ran to the Louvre and I got this shot. But it's the same evening. You know, it's so funny when you have a great sunset. I milk it out. Like, I try to be at 5 different positions in 5 minutes. That's one trick, one little bonus trick. When you have a great sunset and you're like in a beautiful city like Paris, you know, don't stay at the same position. Get the Louvre shot, get the Pont des Arts shot, get the Pont of, just move around. I actually rent, this little bike, this like skateboard with motor. And I can be at, in 2-3 different spots because the sunset is only going to last 5-6 minutes. And the good thing is that in Paris, you got a lot of nice spots. So like this, and don't forget, here is a little, the famous circle. So this one, I'm going to maybe just do a little bit of luminance masking, just a little tight, so that it's less obvious and it goes a little bit behind the buildings. So that's the before, super underexposed. And that's the final result, pretty cool. All right, next one. So next one, again, free preset. The link is under the video. Do yourself a favor and download my preset. Look at this. One click. Bam. 27 sliders. Ooh, I love it. Okay, this one is maybe too much. And I can tell it's mainly because of the circle. So I'm going to go right away to the circle. And I mean, this was a crazy sunset. It's one of the most crazy sunsets I have seen. Now, this is not Paris. This is El Matador Beach. El Matador Beach in Malibu, my favorite beach in California. So I'm going to go here to luminance. I love this place. It looks like God made like the rocks and like some artist just painted this whole place. It's unbelievable. Okay, so same idea. Let's check my black point. Black point. Okay, black point seems to be good. White point. Ooh, it's a little burn here. So let's bring it back. Because when you're printing, if you ever print this photo, you want to make sure that I'm maybe going to oh, I love this shot. This is how it was. It was a crazy sunset. It was one of the strongest sunset. The problem with sunset is that, and that's why I'm giving you the preset, is that if you are too much off, let's say I'm like this, like super off like this, or super off like this, it's going to look weird. You need to have the exact right white balance. I think I'm going to back down a little tiny bit this. Yes, something like that. So let me show you the before. So that's the before photo. And that's the final shot, El Matador. Of course, it's not straight, so I'm going to make it straight really quick. And coming up next is one of my favorite photo ever. I mean, I don't know, it's this crazy panorama. So this is a shot that I was telling you I got from the department store in Paris. And you have this incredible view of Paris. So what I did is, I think was at 500 ISO, f4, 140 per second. I'm going to take all these photos and I'm going to right click, photo merge, panorama. Because sometimes you need to do a panorama to be able to get, everything. I wanted to get the French Opera and I wanted to get the Eiffel Tower in the same shot. And there was no other way to do it than to do it through a panorama. So usually what I do on this is I click on fill edges like that. And that's what's going to do is that's going to fill all the edges, which is around there. And it's just additional information. Sometimes it does a weird things, but that's fine. So I'm going to merge this. That's going to take a while. Okay, so yeah, something is weird there, which is fine. But let's apply this famous free preset that you can get. Wait for it. Bang. Bang. Okay, I'm just going to boost the exposure a little bit. Look at this. This was a crazy sunset. I couldn't believe it. So, okay, let's check the black point. Yeah, black point's good. Let's check the white point. That's a little too much. This one's going to need a bit of cropping. So let's crop it. I want to make something nice. So first thing is, let's make the horizon straight for once. Okay, and the other one is, I think I'm gonna go 16 by 9 on this one. I love 16 by 9, that's what I work with my gallery most of the time. And so what I do is like 1/3 of sky, 2/3 of land, and boom. Check this out. So we came from this, and this is what we got. You gotta check out my presets, you'll love it. Okay, last, and this is a bonus video, so this is a crazy story. I've never been to the Mont Saint-Michel. Same idea, this was a pano. It was actually 8 photos you can see here, but you know, which I just did was the exact same procedure. So I took this by hand, and it was raining all day, and as we came, it sort of clearing up. I was with Scott Kelby, I don't know if you know Scott Kelby, amazing man. I shot everything at, I couldn't put a tripod down because it was quicksand. I'm not kidding, this whole place here is full of quicksand, so you can't put a tripod down, it just goes down. So 100 ISO, f10, 120 frames per second. Actually, I should have done f7, 140th of a second, but because I use a self-timer, all the photo came out sharp. Now, the problem with this one is that, where's the sunset? Yes, it was too much overcast. So I see so many people, so I'll show you a trick. So let's apply the sunset preset to this one. It's gonna look kind of weird at first because there was no real sunset. So you gotta be very gentle when you do that. What you do is first of all, you take the circle, and you put it where the sun is. The sun was there. So, and I'm gonna put it just really outside, so it's just a little bit there. And maybe even use the luminous mask so that it goes behind. So you just have a little tad of color, okay? It just helps bring the color. I'll show you before that circle, before, after, okay? But there was actually this one I shot with the wrong white balance. So if I go here on top here, instead of adding blue like I here, I'm gonna add a little bit of magenta and a little bit of yellow on this one. And this was kind of like one of the first photo I did where I got a lot of press on. Okay, now all this quicksand is kind of ugly, but you see it's making the, I don't need to be so blue, it's adding a little bit of light, but don't overdo it. I used to do it like strong like this. Don't do that. Just do it a little bit. You know, there's a hint of magenta. Okay, now I'm gonna crop this because there's too much quicksand for me. So don't do this at home. You know, we had a fireman pretty close to us, and actually the quicksand are not that dangerous. And okay, and here there is this gradient. You remember that my presets have gradient. So voila, and let me show you. So this is the before, and this is the final shot. Get my preset, install them. If you can purchase the full package, you are amazing. We are at home, we are creating art. Also, I wanted to give the winner for last video, Christian Photography. His Instagram link is going to be below the video. Look at this black and white. So I did a video last week about how to fake long exposure with filters, and this is some of the photo he submitted, and I thought it was really nice. And a photo of Berlin. Christian is very passionate. You gotta follow him. I'm gonna post his Instagram everywhere. If you want to win this week's channel, all you have to do is install my free preset, retouch a sunset photo, and post it as a story in Instagram and tag me at @photosurge. Okay, then this way I can see it, and the nicest photos I will forward on my stories, and I will pick a winner, and the winner will get a signed copy of one of my color books, and will also be in my newsletter, on my YouTube channel, and on my Instagram. I will put him in my feed. So this week it is Christian. You can be the next winner. It can help to boost your Instagram account. Voila, hope you enjoyed these presets, and I will see you in another video.